introduce our guest today. So he is the founder and non-executive chairman of Shopper Stop Limited. It's a $700 million listed company. He's the founder chairman of the Retail Association of India. Like Suresh said, he pretty much is the father of modern Indian retail. He sort of it started with Shopper Stop, and I think the biggest thing is the way he's been sort of adding back to the retail community, since it's not just something that he did for shoppers and let that go.
Let me answer the question a slightly different way, Joy. Let me tell you as to what are the big shifts that have happened in the last 90 days. Everybody is talking about the big shifts happening in consumers, working from home, and things like that. But I think one of the biggest shift that I anticipate and I'm seeing is suddenly the so-called unorganized or traditional retailers, especially in the food and grocery, will come in the center of our Indian community and our play. And this is also important because it's an absolutely clean slate. Okay, this is a slate which till yesterday was called unorganized. There was nothing. And this is a slate, in my opinion, in the next 6 months to 1 year, will get highly organized or start getting organized. And therefore, the next 5 to 10 years will be the period for Indian traditional retail to get modernized or will get into modernizing. And India's small shops will be one of the most modernized retail anywhere in the world. Okay, and I hope I'm correct. What this will also do is it will shift and change the way people look at logistics, because logistics across the world has been driven by supply side, the Walmarts of the world and Amazons of the world, and nobody looked at reaching the consumer uh, with a hub and spoke model within the consumer's 50-meter, 100-meter distance, because that infrastructure was not available. Whereas now in India, that infrastructure is there. So which means there are 5 kiranas or 5 small retailers who can serve my house, and currently they are not connected, and they will all get connected. So that's the first big shift that will happen. This I'm expecting in essentials, but it will also shift into essentials to non-essentials, because this infrastructure cannot be used for anything else. There are 500 to 1,000 square feet stores. Indian average of the 12 million retailers will be 350 square feet or so. So these 350 square feet cannot be used for anything else, and most of them are generations-led property. So that's one big chunk of changes that will happen. The second big thing that's happening is that the world's best and the world's biggest and the world's richest are also coming at the same time to participate in this change. Whether it is an Amazon or whether it is a Reliance, okay, or whether it is a Walmart. So that's the second big shift that I am seeing. What COVID has done is that COVID has suddenly brought all this at the same platform, and suddenly has brought attention that consumers are looking forward to shifting and pivoting from their habits of physical shopping to online shopping, because now they have got forced to it. I won't call it as multi-channel shopping because they use phones for deliveries, but phones are still not being used as much for deliveries. Now they're going on to, thanks to Big Basket, thanks to Amazon, and lots of. The other change in ecosystem has happened is that the payment system has moved into out of cash and digital. And if you look at 90% of the small retailers do not have either POS for inventory management or business management, or if they have, it is basically a credit card swipe machine, and which also is just a few millions. So if you just look at and scan this, you'll suddenly find that this looks like, I don't know which century we are in, everything is clean. And the experiments that you see, which have been happening, whether it's an Udan or whether it's a ShopX or whether it's a Kirana King or a Jumbo King, if you look at all of them, they have brought technology and powered the retailer. Now, most of us and most of the businesses thought the retailer is a small guy, 350 square feet. How can he ever service the need of consumers? Where the assortment required to the consumer in a tier one city like Mumbai would be anywhere between 8 to 12,000. An average kirana will have 1,200 to 1,500 SKUs. And therefore, everybody ignored. Now, what's happened is a 350 square feet or a 500 square feet to 1,200 SKUs physically kept uses digital and uses a ShopX or a Udan or things like that, and suddenly is able to offer a 20,000 or 30,000 options. And suddenly he is as powerful as a large department store, a large supermarket, a large hypermarket with very low cost. Because firstly, his cost structure is very low. He's sitting on traditional properties. He has 350 square feet for which he pays or he owns, and he has another 500 square feet on the footpath which he can occupy. So the cost of doing business is very low. And the best is, unlike a modern retailer or a modern business, he doesn't have to invest into any capex. Today, he has to just give a call. There'll be a POS guy running, there'll be an Udan guy running, and there'll be a payment guy running, and they will also pay him and connect him in few minutes for him to become busy. So if you just look at this whole change, I'm not even come to the consumer. If you look at just this change, look at what's happening. This is a force multiplier. I think businesses have to only look at saying what is their own business and where will they be able to participate in this force multiplier. And to me, this could be 3 to 5 years time. And with GeoMart coming in and Amazon coming in whichever way, I think you will see this multiplier happening. So that's the scenario as far as the what's happening around. So I and you as consumers are now sitting in the middle of it. I mean, I don't think we ever got this kind of attention, okay, from anybody. Mr. Mukesh Ambani is also talking of saying he wants to shift his business with consumers being 70% or 75%. Look at the changes they have brought in their company in the last 10 years. So I think we are the privileged lot. Look at what's happened to us in the last 5 years. I mean, in a growing economy, we have seen deflation. Everything has come to us at a discount, as a lower price, 1 on 1 free, 1 on 2 free. So suddenly, although our income may not have grown, although income went up in the last 5 years, but our consumption in terms of quantity went up, value did not go as much. And when this happens, retailers and businesses are under tremendous pressure because their balance sheets and P&L are made out of cash, not out of units. So this is the ecosystem that is all around us. And in this ecosystem, if you ask me what is happening to the Indian consumer, multiple things are happening. First of all, they have got segmented by the community. So now I am being told that I'm a senior citizen because I'm above 60. Okay. If I want to change my behavior or not, I've done a half marathon, I went for a trekking, 16,000 feet. But whatever I want to do, I want to be enthusiastic, I want to be younger, I want to be fitter as I am. My family, my daughters, my peer group is saying, boss, you're a senior citizen, you can't go out, you don't go out, don't do this, don't do that. So suddenly there's a new pressure which is developing on the senior citizens. Now, so this segment is India's most, uh, I would not call it a rich, but having the highest disposable income. Because this is a segment in the 300 million, if you look at the 60 plus or 55 plus, no responsibilities, the children are still not married, they're earning, they're not asking money from parents, he's got his own house, okay, that's his own vehicle, okay, and he's still young in his mindset, so he was shopping and okay, but nobody concentrated him as a core TG. Everybody looked at him as part of a bigger family, and 2 generations coming in, this old man also comes in. I think this is a segment which will become very, very important. So if I was on the advisory board of TRRAIN, I would say, guys, do something and just start doing something to get to understand this set of customers very well. Because this set of customers now will be forced to sit at home, maybe for the next 12 to 15 months' time, but they would want to be served at home because they're still not the old generation. They know how to use the laptop, computers, mobile, internet, and they're digital savvy. So understand them. I think there's a big business sitting there. And understand them also because they will be the influencers, because the millennials and the Gen Z are still influenced by them, at least in Indian environment, because even we not there as a joint family, even in nuclear families, the 55 to 75, 70 are still respected for their opinions. So this is a good influencer. So this is I think a big thing that's happened, and I would say that we should just keep a solid watch on this. The second segment, which is again the most important segment for the future, is the Gen Z, which is your 10, 11, 12, 15. And they have been proven right. Okay, till now when they were displaying their behavior or showing their behavior, we were laughing at them. Millennials' wardrobes are full. If you go to Gen Z, 90% of them will have 2 pairs of jeans, 10 t-shirts, not bothered much about what they look. They're more interested in having fun, traveling. If they're studying, they've got multiple hobbies. Okay, and this is a generation which is already into exploring things in life, and therefore their spend was lower on consumption, but their spend was very high on exploring. And now it's been proved that that's the right way to live, because a lot of us have realized that if we have 10 good t-shirts and one Fatela jean, we can still look very good on our webinar. Yeah. So I think that's what happening with this generation. So I would again say that this generation has again been ignored because we always thought that they get influenced by their parents, or they spend money on their parents' money. So not many people have got analysis on Gen Z. Yeah, I think all of us have only been concentrating on the 300 million people, or 40 million or 50 million households in the age group of 25 to 55 or 25 to 45, which has been our core. And I know this is the core, but I feel this is the one which is not going to lead us anywhere in the next 12 to 18 months. I mean, they are going to be dragging because of the fundamental changes that have happened in the last 3 to 4 months' time. Huge amount of job losses. If not physical job losses, there's a huge amount of mental insecurity. Uh, Generally, this used to happen with some companies, and we always thought that it will never happen to us, but now it's happening to many. Okay, so it is populated, and you also now see near and dear ones getting impacted. You also see a lot of, for example, just before the call, I got a call from a broker friend of mine, and he said, last 4 months I had no deal. I had only one deal of a sale, and that deal got cancelled because the buyer said he's gone cold feet. So there are these things that are happening across, and they will now want to save. Whereas just 5 to 6 months back, when I used to look at them, there was this very different trend. The trend I had observed 6 months back or 9 months back is they don't want to own a property, they don't want to own a car, okay, because they understand that at 1%, 2% yield, they can have a car and a property while lot more money is there. But suddenly they want safety and security. Yeah, these are the people who had already borrowed, they have EMIs to pay. These are the people who also still have parents, and many of them have parents near and dear ones staying. So they are seeing the insecurity of the parents. So suddenly there is a mental as well as physical as well as financial pressure on this group. So I would say that opportunity for India is big in the segment up to 15, 20. Again, very big in the segment up to 45 to and above, 50 and above. And if you look at the middle segment of the consumers, I think we have to start seeing, can we go deeper into their uh, consumption ecosystem rather than going wider. Okay? And therefore, to me, the whole relationship will come back in a very big way. Yeah. Therefore, I don't want to use the word loyalty, okay, but I would want to use the word relationship and experience, which is going to come back in a very, very big way, because this segment will now go back to those places where the relationship has given them trust. Definition of value will change.
Yes,
And
I meant the value. Yes, sorry.
yeah, the definition of value will change. And whether it leads to private label, a lot of branded players who also bring in a different price segment, either under the main brand. Look at what happened 8 to 10 years back. Okay, I mean, if you look at the the BMW X1, okay, or you look at all those classes of luxury cars, okay, which you brought into the 20 to 30 lakh segment, was actually creating value, because in the minds of people of India 10 years back, Mercedes was only a 50 lakh or a 60 lakhs or a crore. So I'm saying a lot of, for example, Peter England was an offspring of the Louis Philippe and Van Heusen family because they wanted to reach there. So you will have both private label, you will also have a lot of brands coming out with value play. And I'm saying value need not be only price, okay, because X1 has been brought in without bringing down the quality of the product. So I think that is definitely the nature of the way things will go. To me, what will happen, I think, is that the Gen Z, when they come into the age group of the so-called millennials of today, which is the 21 to 25, I see a lot of money getting shifted into travel. Internal travel to me is going to be a big, big opportunity. And that's where you will find that suddenly the hinterlands will open up. And when an unknown place suddenly becomes a tourist destination, money starts flowing into that. And those are the changes that I expect over the next 4 to 5 years' time. And therefore, the quantum of purchase, in my opinion, will come down. I personally feel that the consumption overall per individual will come down. Okay, but more individuals will start getting more consumption because of the access they get, not necessarily of their income, but because of the access that they had money, but it is the reach which has brought the product very close to the customer.